When you think of modern China, skyscrapers, crowded cities, and ancient monuments come to mind. But within the lands of this giant of 1.4 billion people, far beyond popular tourist routes, there are places untouched by time and technology. Places that have remained the same for centuries, preserving their own reality while the world changes around them. And so incredible that even locals sometimes can't believe they exist. In this video, we'll explore places that amaze China itself. The Wulingyuan stone forest in Hunan province is known as the natural inspiration for the movie Avatar. But the reality of these stone pillars is more impressive than any film set. Over 3,000 quartzite sandstone columns, some reaching 400 meters in height, rise from mist-filled valleys toward the sky. In the early morning before the sun rises, the dense fog that flows between the columns gives you the feeling of stepping into a world not made by human hands. The local Zhangjiajie people consider these mountains sacred and tell various legends about them. One such legend speaks of a powerful deity who turned an army of warriors into stone to protect the region from invaders, explaining the stone forest's formation. Many Chinese have only seen these magnificent landscapes in photographs and often thought they were digitally enhanced. A young traveler from Beijing once told me, "I refused to believe this was in China until I saw it with my own eyes. It feels like standing on another planet." One of the most impressive features of Wulingyuan is the sky bridges suspended among these massive rocks. These glass-bottomed walkways, hundreds of meters high, offer visitors the experience of seemingly walking on air. A frightening but equally mesmerizing experience that challenges even the bravest visitors. The perspective from these bridges reveals the true scale of the stone forest extending endlessly into the horizon. The Zhangye Danxia mountains in Gansu province are one of the most vivid and extraordinary landscapes created by nature. Formed by geological processes over millions of years, these colorful hills resemble an artist's palette with striking layers of red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. It's no coincidence that this region is called the Rainbow Mountains. Depending on the angle of sunlight, the colors change throughout the day, becoming most vibrant during morning and evening hours. The science behind this natural wonder is fascinating. Different mineral deposits laid down over 24 million years, combined with tectonic uplift, created these perfectly stratified, colorful layers. Many people think these photos are digitally colored when they see them, but Danxia's colors are entirely natural, formed by the accumulation of mineral deposits over millions of years. Red layers come from iron oxide, while greens result from chlorite or mica, yellows from sulfur, and blues from manganese salts. A local guide once said, "Even our own people don't believe it when they first see this place. A tourist once told me, 'This is Photoshop, it can't be real.' I brought him here and he started crying." This reaction is not uncommon. The landscape is so surreal that it challenges our perception of what natural formation should look like. Located on the China-Vietnam border, Detian Waterfall is one of Asia's largest transnational waterfalls. This magnificent natural wonder, 200 meters wide and 70 meters high, creates an exotic landscape with its cascading drops at different levels, surrounded by bamboo and limestone hills. The waterfall's history is as fascinating as its beauty. For centuries, it served as a natural boundary between empires and kingdoms. Today, it symbolizes friendship between two nations, with visitors from both countries admiring its beauty. Local boatmen offer bamboo raft rides that take you remarkably close to the thundering waters, creating an immersive experience that engages all your senses. The landscape around the waterfall looks like it's straight out of an ancient Chinese painting. Lush green rice fields, banana trees, and characteristic hills. During the rainy season, the noise of the waterfall can be heard for kilometers, and giant columns of water rise into the sky, creating rainbows that dance in the mist. Due to its distance from many of China's major urban centers, Detian is relatively unknown among foreign travelers. Moreover, many Chinese are unaware of the existence of this magnificent waterfall and are often unable to hide their amazement when they see it for the first time. "How could I not know about this?" is a common reaction from domestic tourists. Jiuzhaigou Valley in Sichuan province is an extraordinary natural reserve located on the edge of the Tibetan Plateau. The valley's name translates to Nine Village Valley, referring to the 9 Tibetan villages once scattered throughout this region. Today, only a handful of Tibetan families still live within the park boundaries, preserving their ancient way of life. The valley's most striking feature is its crystal-clear lakes that reflect all the colors of the rainbow. Lakes with names like Five-Flower Lake and Mirror Lake amaze visitors with their colors ranging from emerald green to deep blue and turquoise. What makes these lakes particularly special is their clarity. You can see straight to the bottom even in lakes over 100 feet deep, where ancient fallen trees create underwater forests. Another wonder of this region is the multi-tiered Pearl Shoal waterfall. When sunlight reflects in the water, it looks as if there are millions of shining pearls on the water's surface. The limestone-rich water has over centuries created natural travertine dams that form these perfectly arranged cascades. Jiuzhaigou also transforms into a spectacular landscape in autumn. Red, yellow, and orange leaves contrast with the turquoise waters of the lakes, creating a photographer's paradise. Winter brings another dimension of beauty, with frozen waterfalls and snow-covered landscapes that look like scenes from a fairy tale. After the major earthquake in 2017, the park was partially closed and rebuilt. Today, the number of visitors is strictly controlled, which helps preserve the natural beauty of the region. A visitor from Shanghai once said, "I've lived in China all my life and didn't know such a place existed. When I saw this place, I felt like I was rediscovering my own country." At the northwestern tip of China, near the borders of Mongolia, Russia, and Kazakhstan, Kanas Lake is like a reflection of heaven on earth. Located in the heart of the Altai Mountains, this lake creates a stunning landscape with snow-capped peaks, dense forests, and green meadows surrounding its blue-green waters. What makes Kanas special is its seasonal color changes. It turns turquoise in spring, deep blue in summer, emerald green in autumn, and shrouds in a mystical fog in winter. This phenomenon occurs due to the varying concentration of minerals and microorganisms in the water throughout the year, combined with changing light conditions. The lake is also famous for legends about giant taimen fish, which locals call the lake monster. These fish can grow up to 10 meters and cause ripples on the water's surface. While the size might be exaggerated in local folklore, taimen fish are indeed present in the lake, some growing to impressive dimensions. Kanas is sacred to the local Tuvan people, a small ethnic group who have preserved their nomadic traditions for centuries. Their distinctive wooden cabins dot the shores of the lake, and if you're fortunate, you might witness traditional throat-singing performances that echo hauntingly across the water. Due to the region's remoteness and challenging terrain, Kanas remained hidden for a long time. Even today, it's a relatively little-known destination among Chinese. Many visitors are amazed by its striking resemblance to the Swiss Alps, and find it hard to believe that such a landscape could exist in China. Located in Hubei province, Enshi Grand Canyon is one of China's most impressive geological formations, yet it often remains off tourist routes. This canyon, 108 kilometers long and 750 meters deep, is known for its steep limestone cliffs, deep valleys, and magnificent waterfalls. One of the canyon's most notable features is a narrow crevice known as One-Line Sky. In this natural passage, visitors can see only a thin strip of sky between rocks hundreds of meters high. The effect is both claustrophobic and awe-inspiring, creating a unique sensation that cannot be experienced anywhere else in China. Another impressive spot is the Xinjiang River Waterfall, which drops from a height of 150 meters. The thundering sound of water hitting ancient rocks creates natural music that resonates throughout the canyon. On sunny days, the mist from the waterfall creates perfect rainbows that arc across the gorge. The Enshi region is also home to the Tujia and Miao ethnic minorities. These communities have lived in this challenging terrain for generations and built wooden hanging houses that seem to be suspended in the depths of the canyon. These traditional structures were built with local wisdom and skills passed down through generations rather than modern architectural techniques. Local communities have developed unique agricultural methods, creating terraced fields on seemingly impossible slopes. Their sustainable farming practices have allowed them to live in harmony with this dramatic landscape for centuries, preserving both their cultural heritage and the natural environment. The Yuanyang rice terraces in Yunnan province are a joint masterpiece of humans and nature. Initiated by the Han ethnic minority 1,300 years ago, these terraces are carved into the slopes of the Ailao Mountains and reach up to 2,000 meters above sea level in some places. The engineering brilliance of these terraces cannot be overstated. Without modern tools, the Han people created an intricate irrigation system that captures mountain spring water and distributes it evenly across thousands of terraced fields. The system is so perfectly designed that it has functioned continuously for over a millennium. What makes Yuanyang truly special is its appearance during winter and spring when the terraces are filled with water. During this period, the terraces transform into enormous mirrors reflecting the sky, clouds, and sun. At sunrise and sunset, these terraces light up with spectacular color explosions that transform the entire mountainside into a living canvas. In February, when the terraces are completely filled with water and rice planting has not yet begun, the landscape is at its most impressive. For photographers, this is perhaps one of China's most photogenic landscapes. The changing light throughout the day creates different moods and colors, from misty blue mornings to golden afternoons and fiery red sunsets. A visitor from Beijing said, "When I saw a photo of this, I thought it was somewhere else in the world. I was shocked to learn it was in my own country." This sentiment is common among Chinese visitors who often associate such dramatic agricultural landscapes with Southeast Asian countries like Vietnam or the Philippines. In Hunan province, among the striking stone pillars of Wulingyuan, stands one of the world's highest and longest glass bridges. This engineering marvel, 430 meters long and suspended 300 meters above the ground, offers an uninterrupted view of the magnificent gorge below. Designed by Israeli architect Chaim Dotan, the bridge represents a philosophy of blending nature with engineering. Its transparent glass floor allows you to look down at the deep valley while walking, an experience that is both terrifying and fascinating. The bridge's design was conceived as a contemporary interpretation of traditional Chinese art, creating the appearance of a structure seemingly floating among the mists. When it was built, a car was driven over the bridge to test its durability, and large hammers were used to try to break the glass. Despite all these tests, the glass floor remained in perfect condition. The bridge can support up to 800 visitors at once and withstand gale-force winds and major earthquakes. Still, many visitors hesitate to step onto the bridge, and some freeze when they reach the middle. Park rangers often need to assist terrified tourists who find themselves unable to continue walking. One local guide told me, "We see it every day. Confident people enter the bridge, then crawl back on hands and knees." This psychological challenge is part of what makes the experience so memorable. Located on the border of Yunnan and Sichuan provinces, Lugu Lake stands out not only for its natural beauty but also for the unique Mosuo culture. The Mosuo people are one of the last matriarchal communities in China and maintain a practice known as walking marriage, where women can choose multiple partners and are considered the heads of households. The lake is situated at 2,685 meters above sea level, and its clear waters reflect the snow-capped mountains surrounding it. The water quality is so pristine that visibility extends to 11 meters deep, and the lake is home to rare species like the Lugu Lake naked carp, found nowhere else on Earth. In the middle of the lake is a small island known as Moss Mountain, which, according to legend, is considered a goddess's mirror. The Mosuo people perform ceremonies on this island during important festivals, maintaining traditions that date back thousands of years. It's possible to swim, take boat trips, and travel on the lake with local fishermen in traditional wooden canoes. These boats, called pig troughs due to their shape, are crafted from whole logs and have remained unchanged in design for centuries. In villages along the shoreline, you can observe the traditional lifestyle of the Mosuo people, which revolves around wooden houses and central fire pits known as grandmother's hearth. These multi-generational homes are organized around the female lineage, with the grandmother often making important family decisions. In Fujian province, the mudflats of Xiapu form one of China's most impressive yet least known landscapes. This vast coastal area is like a miniature world filled with bamboo poles, nets, and huts used for fish farming and seaweed harvesting in shallow waters. What makes Xiapu special is not just the landscape itself, but how human activity has shaped it into something extraordinary. Local fishermen have worked these mudflats for generations, creating intricate patterns with their tools and structures that transform a simple coastal area into a living art installation. In the early morning or at sunset, these mudflats transform into a magnificent display of light and shadow. Long bamboo poles and fishing nets reflecting in the water appear like an abstract work of art. Under fog or light rain, the landscape takes on an even more dramatic appearance, resembling traditional Chinese ink paintings. The daily rhythm of life here follows the tides. At low tide, fishermen and seaweed farmers work the exposed mudflats, planting bamboo poles and setting nets. When the tide returns, their creations become partially submerged, creating the dreamlike scenes that photographers travel thousands of miles to capture. This region was like a hidden treasure among photographers until recently. Even now, most Chinese are unaware of the existence of this extraordinary landscape. A photographer from Shanghai said, "When I first saw photos of Xiapu, I thought they were taken not in China, but perhaps in Vietnam or Japan. I didn't know such a place existed in my own country." These are just some of the hidden corners of China that even locals sometimes can't believe exist. The diversity and vastness of this enormous country continues to surprise even the most experienced travelers. While modern skyscrapers and crowded cities show only one face of China, these hidden treasures represent the timeless and mystical heart of the country. These places continue to preserve the magic of the past and nature in a world rapidly changing due to technology and globalization. Perhaps most surprising is the fact that many of these places are still waiting to be discovered. Travel is not just about seeing new places, but also about gaining new perspectives on the world and ourselves. These hidden corners of China remind us of the importance of stepping outside the ordinary and discovering unexpected beauties. In our next video, we'll continue to explore more hidden corners of the world. Until then, embark on your own adventures and perhaps you too will discover places that even locals can't believe exist.